Hi there. There are some lies that are so well used, so well known, that they almost deserve their own Wikipedia page. Lies like the cheques in the post. Of course I'll love you in the morning. Your call is very important to us. And my personal favourite, it's not you, it's me. And I'd like to induct a new lie into this pantheon of lies, something that's been told so often and so loudly that so many people, it's earned its right to be there. And that lie is that wind and solar are free. Now, sorry if you're shocked by this, if you are a green, but it's something that people need to be aware of before they make decisions about what to do with things like energy policy, taxes and so on. So it's fairly important. So let's look at it. So, well, for a start, turbines, they don't float out in the wind. Solar panels don't fly in on silicon wings. They have to be built. Oh, okay, fair enough. Solar and wind are mostly free, or free once you've built them. Well, quick sidebar, they're mostly built in China, and nearly all the materials that go into them are processed in China, which is mostly powered by coal, so the carbon footprint on these things is enormous. But that's another discussion. Back to the other point. So, okay, so you've got a wind farm or a solar farm, and the sun's shining, the wind's blowing, it's free. No. So, it's a bit like getting a puppy from a rescue shelter. It might not cost you anything to start with, but once you've got it, well, you've got to feed it. And with these solar farms, they need maintenance. They need oiling. They need regular parts replaced. You need vet visits for a puppy. You need dog walkers, dog sitters, dog kennels. You need your insurance. In short, owning a dog is not cheap. Exactly the same thing goes for a wind farm or a solar farm. Then, of course, there's the connection to the grid, because these farms are often in places where you can't just plug it straight into a power socket and there you go. You need to build connections to major transformers to get it onto the transmission lines. And guess what? That costs money. And what it costs is money on people's electricity bills. Okay, so apart from that, it's free. Well, not quite. You see, on top of that, you've got load balancing. What's load balancing, Colin? Well, it's not something you'll have heard much of unless you follow these kind of things in the press. But with electricity, you need to match supply to demand. Because if you have too much supply, not enough demand, what happens is things burn up and explode. So you have to be constantly, second by second almost, managing your supply of electricity so it matches the demand. And one thing you can be sure of is that with solar and wind, the supply fluctuates incredibly highly during the course of a day, an hour, even minutes. Clouds come out, obscure the sun, wind goes up and goes down, and that means you need incredibly expensive equipment to regulate the load, and you always need carbon burning gas, coal, oil stations on standby that are already on, that you can suddenly ramp up or ramp down in order to balance the load. Oh, and then there's the whole DC-AC thing. What's that, Colin? Well, I'll tell you. Electricity in this country is AC, alternating current. So it arrives at a frequency into our houses and it's transmitted on the transmission lines at that frequency, whereas the electricity generated by wind farms and solar farms is generally DC, direct current. You can't plug direct current straight into AC, you need to convert it. And because of the variation in wind and sun going up and going down, you need more very expensive equipment to make sure that you don't trip something in critical and then have a blackout, which is exactly what happened to Spain and Portugal a few months ago, where they lost power to almost the entire country for several days because they had too much renewables and their system couldn't cope. So apart from that, it's all free. Well, no, because sometimes the wind and the wind and the sunshine just doesn't shine, and you need your good old-fashioned carbon backups to make sure everything runs smoothly. So you actually need two sets of power generation, and they need maintaining as well, even if they don't run very often. So apart from that, it's free. Well, apart from all those things, it's free, yes. Now, it's been calculated, and not by people who are against all these things, but by pro-renewables, that the cost of completely making Britain a green country it's only £1.5 trillion. So yeah, sunshine and wind are free, but the power you get from them, no. So the next time somebody tells you that wind and solar are free, just smile and nod and walk away. And if they question you, just say, it's not you, it's me. So long.